Hi everyone, Nuclear Carlillo back with another video. Uh, Today I want to talk about another topic that's been popping up. I've been seeing is reconciliation between the thought that you need a very high body count in order to protect yourself from women, or you need a very low body count in order to protect yourself from um, the consequences of a higher body count, right? I want to talk about how to reconcile those two viewpoints and how doubling down on either, unless you have very strong religious or personal convictions, how that's detrimental to you as a person and you as a guy that wants to date and meet women. So let's begin. So, first question you need to ask yourself is like how much is too much, is there's no everyone wants to throw out a hard number when it comes to body count, but there really is not or never will be a certain number that every man on earth is going to agree on, like this is the limit. We have rounded numbers like 50, 75, 100, 200, whatever, right? Because those are rounded numbers. It's very easy numbers to reference, right? But there really is no certain number where you're gonna have an epiphany or a eureka moment, or you're gonna be completely satisfied. Um, so um, there really isn't it's not a question of how much is too many. It's a question of how much is too many for you. When are you going? It depends on how you feel, right? More on that later. Um, So another question is, does it make you a psychopath if you have a very high body count? When I say very high, that's very subjective, right? It very high to a celebrity may be astronomical numbers to a person like me, right? Um, does it make you a psychopath? Not really. I would say it depends on how you get these women, right? If you're using game, charm, logistics, and you lead with your personality, I don't believe it's gonna make you a psychopath. I think it makes you more of just a guy that understands how to talk to women, and makes it enjoyable for both parties. Now, if you use nefarious methods or illegal methods or simply methods that you know um, are sneaky, yeah, I would say that's kind of psychopathic, or at least creepy behavior. But if you go the path of leading with your personality and charm, it's not psychopathic. It's just you're displaying confidence and comfort around women, and you're making them feel comfortable. They're having a good time. Most of the time, you will the women will enjoy your company if you display those good traits, right? Like I said before, there is no magic number. There is no set in stone number where you can be like, yep, like I can't tell you what that number is. For some guys it's 10, for some guys it's 50, and so on and so forth. Maybe some guys have 4 and they're like, yeah, I found the love of my life. Like you're already doing well. If it isn't broken, don't fix it, right? Don't think because you found the girl of your dreams at 7, a body count of 7, that you're missing out. You know, that's on you. And if you really deep down think, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to have fun, then yeah, that's a you decision. But if you enjoy being with somebody, don't let the fact that you have a lower body count affect change your mind. It should go on beyond that. It should go about beyond. It should be about compatibility, and if you're happy in that relationship. Um, does anyone care? No one really cares, at least when you get older. Um, in your early 20s, your men are competitive, so we want to, whether directly or indirectly, especially when you're like in your late teens, you kind of want to throw it out there. You want to brag to your friends. It's a sign of competence and, status. If you um, banter with your friends and you talk about who you slept with and all that stuff. But something I really noticed getting older is that in my group chats with my friends, and we don't really talk about girls too much. Like it's very, maybe once in a while I'll drop something to revive the group chat, but honestly, we don't, we keep our like love lives very private unless we have a girl that we care about, we'll bring them around. And it's never like, "Oh, I just met this girl, what do you guys think?" It's more like, "Hey, so and so's coming, we're like trying to get to know each other or something." So you kind of like indirectly know this person is bringing a girl that he cares about around, so we have to act like, like nice to her and make her feel welcome because we're doing that for them, right? um so in reality, no one cares. Now, if let's say your partner, or I don't want to say partner, let's say your girlfriend asks you, right? Just don't, you know that's a can of worms you don't want to answer. that that's a can of worms you don't want to open. You don't want to go there. If she does ask, you can playfully say, what I mean, like, give me like whatever you have to say, but just avoid giving her an exact number and just say it's not important. I don't feel like it. It's not, I don't see it like that. Whatever you have to say, because you're not, nothing good comes from you saying um whatever number, if you even know what that is, right? Um it doesn't help anyone. There's nothing good on the other side of that discussion, right? And if she wants to give you hers, also refuse. There's nothing good. It doesn't help. It doesn't create any bonding. As if anything, it creates more of a rift between two people, right? um so there's a lot of questions that younger guys have, especially guys that are unplugging, or guys that have just started dating or fresh out of a breakup. And there's a lot of like, there's this morality question, right? Where guys will say, what comes with a higher. There's like this void they see when like a lot of players throughout media and movies and shows in history have been seen to be loners, never enjoying a full relationship with the women, always, just the fun guy stuck in that loop, and never seems to, it's like Barney Stinson or whatever person, just never seemed to be satisfied, just kind of like on a hedonistic treadmill for life, right? Um, so I guess a lot of guys, first thing they'll ask is like, do you lose your ability to connect with women? When I say connect, I'm assuming like on a more romantic level, on a more personable level beyond sex. And I would say that you do not, or sorry, you do connect with women the same as you did before, right? It's just now the veneer of sex is now no longer the most of the driving force into wanting to know somebody, right? There's less pretending. Usually a person that's sexually experienced um, knows knows that he's going to have sex with the person, right? um Not that he's assuming it, or not that he's expecting it, but he knows when he's done, he's gamed the girl correctly and the girl feels comfortable and fun and very attracted to him, so he'll know, right? So for a lot of men like this, the relationship doesn't start until they've had sex a couple times and she's starts doing things, um in her favor, in the favor of the relationship, so you do connect. It's just you're more careful because the big carrot that women use to get you hooked is no longer as delicious, or as, you have abundance. So you tend to want women to work a little harder beyond sex for you, because sex isn't something that is novel or rare, and that's just the way it is, and that's a good place to be in, right? But it does not make you hard. It doesn't make it harder to connect with women. It's just that women have to start bringing more to the table, which is a good thing, in my opinion, right? um and let's see what happens at higher body counts. All right, so I'm not saying that I have the highest. I'm not saying that I have the lowest. I don't really care. I lost count. And when I say lost count, it doesn't mean I've had so much I lost count. What I mean is that it's become so little of importance to me, this vanity number, that I really stopped counting. I don't think my number means anything, but I think ultimately it will, it does have an effect, right? There's some things that come with it, but it's not something that is that life changing in terms of your day to day. Um, let's say like I think now instead of just you don't have that, oh, I just need a girl for the night feeling, or you're not, you know, you kind of start wanting more quality. When I say quality, it doesn't necessarily mean a girl that's more attractive all the time. Sometimes you just want a girl that you can stand, you no longer look at a girl and look past her bad parts as much. You need a little bit more, um so yeah, you kind of want quality person, quality and looks and personality too. Just you kind of just want women that are worth your time now. Um, a bad thing is that you lose a lot of patience with the opposite sex, right? Um, so the veneer and the mystery and the rarity of sex kind of goes down. So when women tend to overplay the value of their intimacy, you tend to get a little impatient and just kind of like not play that game. You tend to ghost women who don't want to meet up right away. You tend to you have the yes girls. You tend to really double down on the yes girls and really ignore the maybe girls. The girls that need, oh, I need to text you a little bit longer so I get to know you. I'm not ready, because ultimately what they're doing is maybe they're not ready, right? But what they're doing is they're kind of displaying to you that they're only there to they would prefer your time over your presence and your attention, and you don't have time to waste, right? So I think yeah, your patience goes down a lot. You don't have the same amount of energy to waste on, there's nothing like a yes girl. It's not. As you get more experience, you understand the difference between a yes and a maybe, which is one of the most important things you can learn. But you will not be able to deal with maybe the persistence you once had as a younger guy or as a more inexperienced guy is going to go away. You're not really going to have to deal with it. You have other things in your life. You're tired from work or your responsibilities. So um, of course, you get more sexual experience. So you tend to learn your way around a woman's body and your own body. You tend to know exactly what you want, through trial and error. You tend to see patterns in certain women from certain backgrounds, what they enjoy, whether it be race, age, um, kind of like hobby. You kind of connect dots. Now, that's not to say that women don't surprise me all the time, but you just tend to see another side, and you tend to be more in tune with a woman's body and your own. And a lot of times you'll be surprised that um, how good you are, or how sometimes it's not about being good or bad. It's just some women are very bad or unattractive in bed, not physically, but just they just don't know what they're doing, and then you have to really guide them through. But that's just experience. Just like any other skill or just anything, any other thing. The more you experience, the more you know, right? Yeah, and like I was saying before, you're able to see past sex more. A lot of guys, when they're younger or more inexperienced, sex is just such this big elephant in a room when talking to a girl, that once their standards lower, and they can't really see past the sex, right? So a woman will be able to conjure up a relationship with this guy and a little bit of attachment, because sex is still this new shiny thing in his life, and it's hard to get. But I'm not saying it's easy to get as you get older, right? But I am saying that the shine of it goes away. You start to value other things beyond sex. Sex is still as amazing as it was 10 years ago, but um, it's more amazing when um, there's burning desire involved, and it's easier to not that it's easier to get to you in bed, but you're a more pleasant person. It's really that simple. Like you don't want to deal with a lot that you did when you were younger to get sex now. You just don't have that kind of patience anymore, right? Um, so there's negative content. I mean, not negative, but you'll see a lot more negative things in women in terms of there be the consequences of sex of how much of their abundance, right? You'll start to notice that a lot of women, more than you thought, have venereal diseases and all that stuff, and they sometimes they hide it, or sometimes they tell you, but it's like begrudgingly, or it's an emotional thing for them because it really not destroys people's lives, right? But it really hurts their chances with the opposite sex, as much as they don't want to admit it, right? And they want to push that it's normal and it happens, which I do agree it does happen. But always use protection, always protect yourself, unless she's your girlfriend or the love of your life, your wife. Don't risk it. It's not really worth the risk. um it's a jungle out there. You can't really, women have all the abundance in the world right now. They can have sex with whoever they want. So why, I'm not saying that every woman out there has an STD, right? But you have to protect yourself, right? Um, I have friends that this is their second or third time in a clinic, in an STD clinic, because they had an arrangement with the girl where they were having unprotected sex, and the girl didn't fill their part of the bargain. Right. And then it gets really weird because they still blame him or whatever guy. A lot of time the guys get most of the blame. And, it's more like now you go from having fun with this person to now you're jaded, you're angry. You could have just protected yourself and just took the, bit the bullet, and then not have to deal with these situations, right? So you get to see a lot of the darker parts because, with over time, you're going to, on a balanced probabilities, get to experience more women. You're also going to experience the good parts and some of the bad, and a lot of the bad things will surprise you and will, kind of like, it's hard, it could be hard to process as a guy. I've seen some crazy things. Um I've seen how good women are at hiding other men from you. um and it could get extreme, and then it's almost like, we have what is called open hypergamy now, where women are just blatantly in everyone's face, using men for fun and open humiliation of men, you know, um, on social media and all that stuff, whether it be a girlfriend making fun of her boyfriend because she's smarter than him, or he's an idiot, or he's a dope, just like in the movies and in shows, right? Um, you get to see kind of like the worst of women. You get to see the best, but a lot of times you get to see the worst of women. Um, and from a male perspective, right? To them, they're not, they're just living life, but for you, it's scary. Like the STD thing, like I just explained, is one of them. A lot of guys don't really believe it, but like even the sweetest, nicest, nerdiest, quietest girl could be carrying something, and she's never gonna tell you. She could not tell you. She's not gonna be forthright. Um, so protect yourself, not physically, but also like you're you're in for a ride, right? If you're out there dating, you're in for a ride, and you're going to discover a lot of things that just don't make sense. You're going to discover that girls leave good guys for you, for just to have fun with you, or you're gonna um realize that a lot of girls aren't as clean hygienically as you thought. You're gonna also realize that a lot of girls aren't as good in bed as they claim. And there's just a whole bunch of truths you're gonna find out, and I'll let you find out for yourself. Obviously, I wrote a thread about everything, but in terms of like intimacy, it's a very strange world out there, and for the most part, it's normal. But you'll discover some crazy things. So be ready. Don't lose hope, and just always protect yourself, your mental and your physical, your health, right? Um, so yeah, you'll see dark parts of women. Uh, so another thing that will happen is that you'll get worn out. Not because having a higher body count intrinsically damages you or makes you tired. That's not what I'm talking about here. Excuse me. It's the emotional roller coasters and the ups and downs and the the constant battling your ego and your emotions, right? Because um maybe one day you'll have an 8 out of 10 girl, beautiful, just fall in your lap, and she'll want to be with you and want to go back to your apartment. She's pushing for you to win, right? She wants to have fun with you, right? And then the next week, you're going on a date with a 5 out of 10, and you do everything right, and she sends you a message like, "Hey, I'm not feeling this." The whole, "I don't think we should see each other anymore," right? So that's just up and down, where like you'll have high highs and sometimes you'll have low lows, or whatever. If you're not protecting yourself, you could have pregnancy scares or STDs enter the picture. um you know all these things over a period of time will wear you out emotionally, the ups and downs. So eventually you're just going to want to either settle or take a break. It's up to every man to make a decision for himself. I can't make a decision for any other man. You're your own man. You do what is best for you, right? But just know that on a long enough timeline, like for me, 2 years, I'm exhausted, right? um there's a lot of things that will tire me out, like during the holidays, women try to fast track you. I'm very open to relationships, but also I don't like to be rushed. I don't want week one to be a date, and I don't want week two to be I'm meeting your friends, and then week three I'm meeting your parents, and week four, we're posing for Christmas pictures. You are a good person. I enjoy your company, but also I don't like to be rushed. You have to give me time and space to let me fall for you, right? That wears me out. That's just an example. That wears me out to no end. Being kind of like pushed into a relationship instead of like falling into a relationship slowly and enjoying their company, right? Um, the just another thing wears me out is women that just up and leave really fast, out of nowhere. And this happens a lot now because women have a lot of options, so that will wear you out emotionally. Obviously, if you have a rotation, it's not going to crush you or not going to destroy you. You're still going to be able to function, right? But it still messes up with your day to day. It's still, we are human. We do bond, even though it's just maybe casual or something, but we still bond a little bit. So when someone leaves out of nowhere, there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of like stress of how you're going to replace this person, sexually, emotionally, right? There's a lot of these little mini uh, mourning stages that you have to go through, even though it's not as big as if it was like your wife or your girlfriend, right? But it's still a person, right? Like I said, as you go on with life, and the whole you just want a number. Every one of those girls that is just a number is also experiences that you had with a human being, a person, right? So that cycle of just girls entering and leaving your life, that will wear you out, right? I'm not saying that will prompt you to want to settle down, but I'm saying that you will become a little jaded, um, because of the constant emotional up and down, and the constant of like the the emotional onslaught of dealing with women at different stages of their life. You'll have the girls that are 31 and 32 that are shaming you into a relationship, even though they never even talked about it in the beginning, right? Then you'll have the younger girls, 24, 25, who are seeing other men, and they're in their peak. You have to deal with this like almost an open hypergamy. We're just doing this for fun, but they won't hide it for your sake. It's just, there's a lot going on that you have to be really I'm not going to say stoic, but you have to be really emotionally prepared for it. And the only way to emotionally prepare for it is just to really deal with it, and just um be as kind of like stoic and, you know, make sure that you prioritize your dignity. Don't ever look dumb. Don't, don't disrespect yourself, but just know that it does take a chunk out of you, and just be ready for that. And if it's not for you, that's how you know, hey, I'm done with this. I kind of want to settle, or I need to take a break, or I want to focus on projects, work, stuff like that. That's very understandable because dating does wear you out. It's not unless you're like a Dan Bilzerian or a celebrity type where women come in through your door, have sex and leave, zero drama, zero nothing. They're just there. Then yeah, a higher body count won't really affect you much because you're not emotionally. The emotional investment into each one of those women is so little that you won't even register. But if you have a girl that is bringing you gifts and brings you Christmas gifts and is sending you funny memes all day on IG, and she takes care of you when you're sick. These are not things that like you can stop. Some girls will like you so much that they'll do these things for you. And as a man, no matter how cold, I can be pretty cold at times, but no matter how much as a man I'm cold, I still my it warms my heart when a girl gives me a gift. It makes me feel good. And as much as a man, as much as I try to be like, like macho and try to be like, no, she's just one of my plates or anything like that. I still see her as a good person, and subconsciously, women are really good at getting us attached to them, right? So that's something that is just part of a part of the part of the game, and it will wear you out. I'm just saying. Um, so low body counts. When low, obviously low. Again, another subjective number, doesn't matter. Low can be 3, low can be 30. Depends on your personal view of things. Um, obviously it's like the opposite. You're more sexually naive. You have less sexual experience, so maybe probably don't know as much what you're doing. Um, you make sexual mistakes, like you won't use protection, like my buddy, and you end up in STD clinic, or you end up sick because you didn't you're naive. You think that if you tell a girl, hey, don't sleep with anyone else, and I won't either, um we're casual, but don't sleep with anyone else, that she'll actually abide by that. That's not always the case. So you have that naivety, and you make mistakes like that could cost you if you're not careful, right? um if you're a younger guy, you have a low body count, it can make you insecure, it makes you like you're incompetent. But I'll tell you this, like, remember, the value you bring to this world is not a body count. No one cares about a body count, right? Really, no one does. If your friends give you shit for it, um it's just, as long as it's not in a mean, humiliating way, it's okay, because I got shit for it all the time as a young man. And I'm pretty sure I surpassed all my friends by a lot, but I still don't feel like I'm better than them in that regard. A lot of them are happy with beautiful women and are settling down and having a good life. That's what they wanted. So a body count, it was just a young man, young guy thing. It was just like NBA teams. It's like arguing which NBA team is better. It's childish. It was cool back in the day, but now, as a early 30s, mid 30s man, it's dumb. It doesn't even, I watch basketball, I enjoy it. I think this player is better than that. No one cares about my opinion. That's it, right? Um Ultimately, you have um you have the answer. You can't you can't rely, honestly, on like Twitter people. You have to really stop listening to line about how to be a man, positive way of being in life is what do you do with your dick and fuck. You know, if you find a girl that's a 5 out of 10, you don't know, you don't want to settle because you're afraid that people will judge you. Um, that's not the reason not to settle, right? Do you find her attractive? Is she doing everything in this world? If you find a girl that's an 8 out of 10, and the first thing you want to do is show off on social media how hot she is, that she's yours. That's also, you cannot, um, you cannot qualify to people on the internet, right? You have to qualify to yourself. You have to make yourself the point of origin, right? Your body count is for you. It's for you to decide, for you to understand women and how they work and the world around you, right? If at one point you're satisfied, you feel like you're ready to take on a relationship, or ready to settle, or ready to continue, that's on you. And if you go back out there and you find, wait, I'm not ready. See, it's on you. It has nothing to do with anyone beyond yourself, right? Realize that it's just a vanity metric. It is not something when I get buried or my family and friends remembering me. I want them to. I don't even want them to know that I was a good person. I want them to know that I was a good sailor. I was a good son, a good brother, a good friend, a hard worker, a guy with values. Maybe not the same as society's values, but he took care of his people, right? And that's the most important thing. Body count is not really that important, right? Um, so I'll give you guys a story. So last year, you know, I was compiling a list of every girl that I had seen. It was kind of cringy, kind of autistic, right? I just wrote a list, and I assigned stars signifying, first base, second base, third base, home. With each girl, right? Because I just wanted to analyze and look back at a year. I'm like, wow, what a crazy year it was. I dated a lot. I just want to see how, like on paper, what happened. And as I wrote that list and I added stars, I started thinking, I looked at my phone and looked at every girl that I dated or, just hooked up with. And then I realized, like, in that, every girl was in there. I look at a girl and I'd be like, I look at a girl's name, type it in, put whatever stars I assigned to her. And I would be like, hey, I remember when we did this and we had these drinks on this rooftop. It was fun. We walked around the block. She was a good gal. I wonder what happened to her. And then the next girl, oh, she was terrible. Like, I didn't enjoy it, but sex was good. Oh, this girl, man, oh, what happened to this girl? She could have been my girl. I wonder what happened. I remember we did this, and she used to have this cute little laugh. See, as you go through this list, as I go through this list, um, I start forgetting about this compiling of a list, this mechanical thing that I'm doing for data and to analyze my year of dating, right? But it turned into a memory lane, kind of like thinking of each one of these women as people with their own problems and their own life path, and that our paths cross. And I was attractive enough to them for them to share moments with me, right? I know I'm getting a little, um, you know, but it's just that's why your body count isn't really. It's more the experiences you have with women, the stories you can share with your friends about them, and then the stories that you always carry with you for these women. You don't want to make it about a number. Make it more about a set of experiences with the opposite sex, right? um don't take that away from yourself, right? That's what it is. It's not a vanity number. It's not something to be bragging about, right? So hopefully that story helps. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you will. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, hit me up on Twitter, um, DM me, or comment below something you would like to talk about. I'm full of information. I'm just flowing right now. I've been a little busy, so I can't upload videos, but now I should have a little bit more time coming up. So thank you for listening and have a good night.